What's up, YouTube? It's me, Sammy G, and welcome to NETFIX, the show where I tell you what's hot and what's not on Netflix this week so you can get your Netflix fix on. Yes, got in the first try. Anyway, let's focus here because I have a lot that I want to go through because I know the holidays are coming. This is kind of my holiday show, you know, because it's Friday. I've been posting on Fridays, and I am going to continue to do so for you. Each week, I'm going to try to up the quality of the show. Right now, I have better lighting. I'm not in a car, huh? I'm getting places one episode at a time. So let's jump into it so that you know what to watch this weekend and through Christmas. So there's going to be some Christmas shows, but I'm not strictly going to do only Christmas stuff. So let's do this. All right. My favorites. Let's just start with my favorites. I never do that. I always say my favorites for the end, but I don't actually know if you're going to watch more than this. So let's at least get you what you want right away, right? So let's start with Happy. Happy is a freaking awesome show, originally on Sci-Fi, and it's a little bit like Deadpool meets Shrek meets Christmas meets like cotton candy toilet. I'm so sorry. So, as most people do on the holidays, I'm having a single beer. But I'm not, actually, you know what, why not? Maybe I'll get like, I can be an endorser one day. So that's not the right word, it's okay. Crystal Hero of Revolution Brewing, huh? It's pretty good. Pretty good. I don't really drink a lot of beer, but this is decent. And, you know, I have a holiday party after this, so I'm going to try to do this as quick as possible. I usually stay within a 10-minute window. Huh? See what I did there? Anyway, Happy. Everyone should watch Happy. It's an excellent show. Not everyone should watch Happy. It is not for kids, even though it features in imaginary friends. So you have your main character named Nick, and they do play off Saint Nick in like, I think one of the, like maybe the first episode title is Saint Nick. Anyway, but he's like this ex-cop who is like really hard-hitting, literally, and he's not in the force anymore. Now he's basically like a hired hitman to a point. And his daughter, which he didn't know he had, little spoiler, not really, because they let you know really early on, because otherwise there would be no point of the show. Really early on, his daughter, who he didn't know existed, gets kidnapped. And her imaginary friend comes and finds him to help find the daughter. So the imaginary friend isn't imaginary, which is really cool. And then more imaginary friends come in later. You have a whole bunch of bosses that, by bosses, I mean like villains, that are weaved into the storyline. And it's really complex. And it's so well written, so funny, action-packed, really well filmed. There's so many layers to this that I really super enjoyed. I never had a dull moment. And while it is something that you can kind of have on in the background, because that is part of what I like to tell you guys, like, do you need to give it your full attention? You want to give this show your full attention. You want to watch it with your boyfriend. You want to watch it with your girlfriend. You want to watch it with everybody, because right now it's playing in the next room because I couldn't wait to finish the series. Sorry, but I would be just as willing to watch it again, even though I just watched it. Watch Happy. You'll love it. You will love it. It's not necessarily like for kids. I mean, nowadays kids, maybe PG-13, but like, I don't know if you'll really appreciate it the same way. Anyway, it's just so awesome. I don't even need to say anymore. Just 100% gets my thumbs up, and do it. Watch it. Happy. It will make you happy. It is, and the way that they end the series, it is a show. when they end the series, they leave it in a place where they can make more seasons. And I can't wait because I am hooked on this show and I'm going to tell everybody about it. So that's 1. 2. What do I want to talk about next? All right, I'm going to throw a comedy special in just because we're kind of in this like comedy realm, right? Veer Das did a great special. Excellent special. He's an Indian comic, came to America, tried all these things, right? And not only is he like really funny, really smart, super well written story, and kind of cute. Actually, he's a decent looking guy. There's like these moments where he's very like pro women, which you don't often see with comics. And it was in a way where it's not like, I'm a feminist. It was like, I'm not a feminist because it's not about being equal. It's like women can be they don't have to be equal to men. They have to be equal to women, which women are badasses. And I try not to curse, but on here in general, I curse all the time. But I do it a little musically, you know, like I'm not crude about my cursing. Anyway, Veer Das, great comedy special. I usually sprinkle in at least one comedy special because every once in a while I do go to Stress Factory in New Brunswick. I don't live in New Brunswick, so don't try to like stalk me or anything. But I do try to go to Stress Factory, and I have done their open mics, and I always have idolized even like stand-up comics, not for who they are in real life, not for them like changing the world, because that's not necessarily the case, but because I identify with them. But that's more about me and less about the show, and I usually try to keep this within 10 minutes, so let's see how much more I can give you to watch. Anyway, so Veer Das, great comedy special. I mentioned, all right, moving on. What was the next one? Oh my God, I have so many things that I saw that I really loved. If you want to watch a movie, it's a little heavy, but not too heavy. It's very artistic. It's beautifully filmed. It's incredibly well written. It's very interesting. It's a different idea that I haven't really seen in a movie yet. And it's called The Lobster. The Lobster is weird. It's a different, like maybe it's a futuristic society, but it's not futuristic in that way. It's like maybe in the future or like a different version of Earth. But for whatever reason, the people of Earth, if you're not already a couple, I'm okay. But even if your like wife dies or whatever, but if at any point you're not a part of a couple, you're not married, you're not dating, if you're single, you are up for grabs in a bad kind of way. So in Lobster, you have your main character, his wife leaves him for someone else. And now he has to go to like this camp where he either finds a new partner of the singles at that time who are in that place at that time, or and they're only given like 45 days or something. After that time, you're beat. You are now considered a loner. You are thrown in the woods, and people who, like the new singles that come into the place, have to hunt you to get more time to try to find their own mates. Otherwise, ultimately, whenever you get like trenked in the head and dragged back in, loners, you're getting turned into an animal. You get, at day one, you go to this place, you have to pick what animal you want to be for the rest of your life. Makes you really think about being a vegan now, right? But like, so the guy that you're following in this storyline, he's like, I'm going to be a lobster if I can't find my mate because I love the sea, X, Y, and Z, right? And I'm like, a lot of people choose to be dog. And it's just like, what? That's the premise of the movie? You get turned into an animal? And like, you might be like, oh, that's too weird. That's not for me. It's so beautifully done. it's such a good movie. Everyone, like I never, like the first 10 minutes I felt like crying because I'm just like, this sucks. Like the guy like goes around and he has a dog. You find out right away, spoiler, you find out right away like that's his brother that he has around with him. And I was like, everyone is like so desperate to have a partner because the alternative is, and like, if you get to the point where you're like on your last like 2 days, they're like, you're beat and you're not going to get another, like if you haven't like built up more days and you don't have another chance, it's like, sorry guys, what do you want to do with your last day as a human? Don't pick something that you can do as the animal you chose. Do something that you can only do as a human. Like don't say, I want to walk in the park today. It's like, because you can do that as an animal. Like, what? And it's not even, but it's not only focused about that. It's like that journey of what are you going to do? Are you going to find a person? Like, what are you willing to do to match with someone? Are you going to like pretend to be their perfect partner? Or are you like what are you willing to do to not be an animal? Or do you just give up? And it's such a crazy, beautiful story. And I don't want to give too much away because I just say, watch it. I fell in love with this movie. I really fell in love with this movie. And I didn't think I was going to, from just like reading the description. And even like a few minutes in, I was just like, I like it. I like where it's going. I'm already hooked, but it hurt a little bit because like, it's scary to think that not only can you love someone, and in the first few minutes, like the guy's like, you're leaving me for someone else. Does he wear glasses or contacts? Oh yeah, and like your partner has to be like, there has to be like a physical property or something like that that makes you think that, or that justifies your being together. Like if one person has a limp, like your partner should have a limp. Like what's your distinguishing feature? It's crazy. Watch The Lobster, watch Happy, watch Verdas. That's what I got so far. Is there anything else that I really think you need to know? I usually try not to go too much over 3 because we're already in the 12-minute mark. But really quickly, okay, I'm going to touch on this one pretty quickly. So as a way to kind of poke fun at myself, and it's already getting dark, so it's not really like looks too great, right? So we're gonna flip around for this one. I thought it was really funny that Netflix now has a show called NETFIX after I started posting. So sorry, Netflix, I did it first. But they have a show called NETFIX, and the host is Jimmy Carr, who is a British comedian with the weirdest laugh ever, and it almost ruins the show for me, but not entirely. It's more endearing than anything. And he goes like, he's a British guy, right? He's like, ha 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 ha, and there's only like 6 people in the room at a time, and you've seen his specials, you see him in shows and you see him in other places, and if he laughs, it's usually like kind of, you don't hear it too much. Here you hear it, and you hear it hard, and that man only goes ha 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 as many times as allotted for that thing that makes him laugh. Ha ha ha, and I think he needs to go ha because he's ha ha haing to the point where he can't breathe and goes oh. So funny. So the point of the fix is real world problems, which they have like a data analyst, they like that comes on and like tells you like real, like the data behind the real things that we talk about but we don't really want to fix. And they're like, well, let's use comedians to come up with solutions. And I think that's brilliant. And you can tell it's a really early on in the show. Oh, I'm sorry. You can tell it's really early on in like it's a new show. So whether they have an audience, I think so. They say that they do. And like they don't have that many, like they have a panel of comedians, but 2 are always there. And the other 2, because there's 4 total plus Jimmy Carr, the other 2 they reuse some of the people, you know, like they're not changing it up every episode. They'll change like one of the two people and then like kind of recycle a little bit. So it's still new. Not everyone's into it, whatever. They couldn't get everybody in time. I don't care. I enjoyed the show. I did. I did enjoy the show. I watched the whole series. I watched too much Netflix. By watching it for you, so you don't have to watch The Fix. There's things about The Fix that I really liked and that I justify watching it. Like my fiance didn't like it at first, but halfway into the first episode, he's like, okay, I get it. And I had to sell him on it a little bit. So I won't give it a 10. I won't give it an 8. I'll give it like a 7. I say watch it. Actually, no, I'll give it like a 7.5 because I really like the information. And I do like, oh, sorry, the point of the show. You can tell I'm 15 minutes is too long already. The point of the show is that the comedians come up with solutions to those problems, right? And some of the solutions are really great. So that and the educational value is why you should watch the show. Also, it is very funny. I do laugh. I think it's worth a watch. You know what? I'll give it to them. I like the show. I think they can go further, and I really wish it's very left wing. It's very left wing. So if you're not into a couple jabs here and there at the other side, it may not be as much for you. But that's okay. You know, some people are more open-minded. And if you watch Netflix, you already know it's a very democratic entity, which is great. You know, that's why one of the things I love about Netflix is that they talk about the real world problems. They want people to be informed. I'd really like to see some of the parts of the fix, like the solutions from the fix, the ones that, not all the ones that win, but most of the ones that win are actually worth looking into. They keep in mind the solutions are jokes. But for example, global warming, having rebranding veganism, genius. You know, it's a genius solution because people like hate on the vegans because it's always the loudest people in the group that ruin it for the rest of us. Like most celebrities are vegan. Why? It's because rich people know how to stay alive, know how to be healthy, care about the planet, something like that, you know? And people hate on the vegans, right? This is not supposed to be like a PSA for veganism, but I'm going to go into it a little bit because I'm not vegan 100% of the time, I'll be honest. You know, sometimes I'm vegetarian. Maybe once a week or once every other week I'll have meat just for like the vitamins or whatever. But like slowly I'm getting there. Maybe in the new year. And the thing is, it's like all the problems that are proposed are real problems. Gender wage gap. I think one of the solutions was like get guys to go and take care of the baby so that the women can keep making money instead of staying home. Things like that. It's like, well, maybe there's something there. So I'd really like for like season 2 of The Fix for it not all to be a joke, because it's not. And I think that data analyst is probably Mona is probably my favorite part of the show because not only is she seems like a very sweet person, but like, and she makes like cartoons to help demonstrate what the problem is and what the data is. There's something there. I think there's something there. So I'd like to know what everyone else thinks of The Fix. And I think I'm gonna start wrapping up. I really think that I love doing this. If everyone's gonna put their time into watching Netflix, not only do I want to make recommendations, because that's not really what this is for me. It's like, I don't want you to waste your time, because time is everything. And that's why I love the holidays, because how are you going to spend your time Is it going to be with your loved ones? Is it going to be partying? Both are good answers to that question. But are you going to be happy? And I hope, in addition to watching Happy, because what's my topic? I think it's going to be between Happy and The Lobster. I'm pretty honest. My favorite series, Happy. My favorite movie, Lobster. The Lobster. It's all good stuff. Next time I'm not going to drink. I hate drinking. I don't think I'm going to drink in the new year either. Makes me lispy, and it's not very sexy. But I love you guys. I'm going to keep doing this, and I'm going to try to make this work. And if you want to help me make this work, subscribe, like, share. Help me get a show on Netflix. I am ready for my life to be dedicated to people. I really want to make a difference. And I find that Netflix, in its weird, unpredictable way, makes the world a better place. And, I'm going to say one other quick thing before I go. And you got 2 more things. Why not? I'm already here, right? So, I mentioned Adam Ruins Everything in another episode, and they've had some bad press, and I'm a little disappointed that they were kind of racist in a recent episode. So, I'd say don't discard the entire show necessarily, but at the same time, if they're losing their touch, maybe stick to the earlier episodes too. I think that The Fix may be a decent replacement for Adam Ruins Everything if they up certain parts of their game. I think they have a solid foundation, and I'm really interested to see what they do next. Granted, the premise of the show isn't going to change, and I don't want it to. I think it's brilliant. I love comedians. I already talked a little bit about that, but it's still in its infancy. So I think that should also be considered when watching the show. It's still getting its bearings, but there are definitely things that I think make it worth watching. Maybe can do with less of your attention, unlike The Lobster or Happy. And that's enough I'll say about that. And then 3, I've mentioned Sabrina. The new version of Sabrina was like the Chilling Adventures. They have a holiday special, and I did watch it, and it reminded me like what I did and didn't like about the show. At this point, like I lost the nostalgia of the 90s Sabrina. That's not what I think about when I watch the show anymore. But I do like that it's not just a holiday special. It's continuing the series where it left off, and still very cool to look at. Like cinematically, it's very interesting. I think it needs to do more. I think it needs to do a little bit more. The holiday special was like, okay, I get it. It's an episode. It wasn't like this crazy holiday special. It just took place during Christmas. Like that's not necessarily enough for me. So you could have done like this could have blown me away. It didn't. It was okay. So I might give the next season, I'll see what the next season holds. But that's for me to help you out with, right? Time for me to go. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, get notifications for new ones. I'm going to post on Fridays. I'm going to really try to streamline this. I'm going to keep upping my game, get the quality of the video up. I got a bumper. You got to give me something for the bumper. Comment, hate on me if you really want to. Tell me how pretty I am. All that, whatever, like whatever YouTube does, right? And I'd also love to do ads and endorsements and all that junk, It's not I look forward to what's coming next. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And I'm going to get up my description game, too. I'm going to try to give you a little bit more takeaway than just me telling you what my favorite watches were this week. That's it. Bye.